In this tutorial, let us learn what is anchor point and pen tool, which is one of the most important things to consider in Adobe Illustrator because most of the shapes has to be edited using anchor points and pen tool. Before learning anchor points, one tool you have to keep in mind is the direct selection tool, which allows you to select the anchor points and also edit those anchor points. So to understand anchor points, let me draw a rectangle and a circle. So in these two shapes, if I zoom in and select this shape, you see that there are 4 points that has come out, and these points are actually the anchor points which makes up the rectangle. And in order to select that anchor point, make sure that the direct selection tool is being selected, because with selection tool you won't be able to select the points, you can only resize them. But with direct selection tool you'll be able to select the points. So if I click on that point, you see that the other points are not bold, only this point is bold. So in order to select that, you can either click there or you can also mark this area and that point will be selected. And in this circle also, if I click on that circle, there are again 4 anchor points are there in this circle also. Let me select this anchor point, and if I want to edit this point, you can click there and move around that point. Now the difference between these 2 points is that this point is a corner point and this one is a smooth point, which means if I click in this area, the line around that point is a straight line, and here in this circle, around this point, the lines around it is a curve. So how do I change this one into a curve? So in order to change this line into curve, or in order to make this point a smooth one, you can click on the point and go to properties panel, and in the properties panel you will see there is a convert area is there. So if I click on this one, which allows you to convert selected anchor points to smooth. So if I click on that, you see that the lines around it has turned to curve. And even in this one here, if I click in here and go to properties panel again, and in the convert area, if I select this one, this becomes a straight line till somewhere to the middle. It is a straight line because just next to it there is another smooth point is there, so that makes the lines curve till this area. So in order to make this one a full straight line, you'll have to press Alt key in your keyboard and select this point and attach it along with that anchor point, and this one will become a straight line. So similarly in this one here also, in order to understand more about the curves, let me click here once and you see that there is one line. If I want to expand that line, these curves also expands, and the same thing also if I expand this one, the curve around it also expands. It becomes more curve. So if you observe, if I move this point up and down, not towards the center but up and down, even this line also moves. So in that way this curves also changes. So as you can see, it's changing both the curves. So in order to avoid that, I don't want to change this curve, but I want to change this curve. So in order to change only one area of the curve so that both these 2 lines does not move together, I'll have to press Alt again and click that line. And if I change this direction, you see that only this part of the curve is changed. Now in this area, as you can see, there are only 4 points. Now suppose if I want to add one more point to this shape, that's where the need of the pen tool comes in. So in order to understand the pen tool, let us draw a shape with the pen tool by ourselves. So for that, I'm going to delete these 2. And for pen tool, you can press P in your keyboard and go to and start drawing your own shape with the pen tool. So the pen tool works in this way. You can click on any area of your artboard and start drawing a shape. So for now, let me draw a shape, and you can see that it is been filled with color because we have already selected a fill color with this one. So in order to avoid that also, first of all, we'll have to remove the fill color, and I'm going to start drawing again. So each time I click the mouse, it makes a point on that area, and those are also the anchor points. So this is not a complete shape till now, until unless I go back to the first starting area and join this anchor point. And if you observe that, you can see that just near my pen tool, there comes a little circle just below the pen tool, and that's when you know that you're joining back to the starting point. So I'm going to click there, and it joins back and makes a full complete shape. Now after that, if you want to fill color, you can just go to the fill color, double click on that area and select the color. Now in order to start a new shape again, do not click just directly from here. Let's click outside once and remove the fill color again. So I'm going to draw another shape to understand more about the pen tool. I'm going to start from here again. So with the pen tool, if you want to make a curve around like this so far it is a straight line. So if you want to make a curved line, you have to click and hold the mouse, do not release the mouse, and pull it down. So you can see that there is a curved area. Now after that, if I make a new point again, even that becomes a curved line. So in order to avoid that, you have to click on that particular point once, and there ends our curved area, and the next one will be a straight line. So that is what we wanted, and I will continue to draw the shape. In order to end directly, I can also directly end here, but let me draw one more point here and end in this area. So you can see that just below my pen tool there is a little circle there, which shows that I'm joining back to the starting point. So I can click there and it completes our new shape. Now I'm going to fill that shape with a different color. Now the direct selection tool is not only for selecting the anchor points, but it can also select the lines also. So it also allows you to move the lines. So to do that, let me move this one somewhere around here and move the points. So you can also practice the same shape on your own so that you becomes more familiar with pen tool and the direct selection tool. So in that way, you're also understanding the anchor points. So I'm going to complete the figure. Now in our toolbox, we have two types of pen tools there. The first one is used for the points, which allows you to draw straight lines. And the second one allows you to draw points with curves. So you can see I'm creating a shape with curves with this pen tool. So let's see how we can add anchor points and delete points now. In order to add an anchor point, let me draw a rectangle again. Now let's say I want to add an anchor point in this area of the rectangle. So there are 4 points right now. I need one more. I need one more here so that it becomes 5 points. So in order to add an anchor point, you'll need the help of the pen tool. Click on the pen tool, come to that line, make sure that this rectangle is selected, and click on one of those lines, and the point will be added. And now you can also edit that point. Now suppose if by mistake if I add an extra point, in order to remove that point, we will have to select that point and do not press delete key, because there is a difference between deleting the anchor point and removing the anchor point. So in order to remove this anchor point, use direct selection tool, not the pen tool. Use direct selection tool, go to the properties panel, and just below the convert there is another area that says anchors, and in here you can see there is a minus sign here, which allows you to remove the anchor point. Now if I want to remove the anchor point with a pen tool, you'll have to use the pen tool again and go near again and just click once more there, and that's how you can remove the anchor points. For example, if I remove the fill color here, you can see that there is an outline fully completing our shape. Now suppose if I delete this one here, right here, there is not a complete closure between the points that makes our shape. So if I increase the stroke point here, you can see that the shape is not a closed one, it's opened in this area. That is about deleting. Now if I want to remove that point only, if I remove this point, you see that the outline of this shape is a complete one. There is no opening in this area, and if I increase the stroke also, there won't be any opening of that shape. So the difference of deleting and removing the anchor points is that if I delete with your keyboard, if I delete this anchor point, there will be an opening area of that particular shape. But if I just remove that anchor point, it will still be a shape with a closed stroke. So remember, whenever you draw any shape, there are always anchor points in that shape on which you can click with the direct selection tool and edit that point. Or you can also remove that point by going to the properties and remove that point. And also you can change the type of the point by going to the properties again and convert the points from corner to a smooth area.